Welcome back. I am prepared to be bedazzled because today I'm going to be shining light on why going an entire lifetime without buying anything from a restaurant is easy. So why would I deem it to be a cinch to abstain, desist, and refrain from eating out at a restaurant for the entirety of your lifetime? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. It is simple to forgo buying anything from a restaurant for the totality of your lifetime, primarily because there's no incentive to do so. Restaurants command steep, staggering, hefty, exorbitant, lofty premium prices on homogeneous food products. You have the autonomy to prepare your own meals, and if you forgo buying anything from a restaurant, then you can have more fiat currency on hand to earmark as you deem fit. So, do restaurant meals warrant their steep, staggering, hefty, exorbitant, lofty premium prices? I would staunchly make the contention that they unequivocally do not. Are their meals more palatable? Are they more succulent? Are they more scrumptious? Are they zestier than the meals that you can prepare after an abode? I would presume that they taste similar to the meals that you can prepare at your own abode. So why expend a sizable amount of fiat currency on purchasing homogeneous food products from restaurants when you have the autonomy to cultivate your own produce in your backyard or purchase foods via supermarkets or grocery stores? It just does not make a modicum of sense to opt to purchase foods from restaurants when you have the autonomy to harvest your own crops that you cultivate in your backyard, or when you have the autonomy to purchase foods from grocery stores or supermarkets. So there's no guarantee that meals at restaurants will always be palatable. Can you encounter unpalatable meals at restaurants? Is predicated upon what your preferences are. I prefer to prepare my own meals in lieu of eating out at restaurants or in lieu of ordering food from restaurants. There's no guarantee that restaurants will be adherent to health code regulations. If you prepare your own meals, then you at least psychologically know that your food was washed off prior to the advent of you Fletcherizing your foods. Restaurant personnel should always be adherent to health code regulations. There's no impetus for someone to eat out at restaurants. It is an inconvenience to drive to a distant restaurant and to wait ample time for the chef to prepare meals that you ordered at the restaurant. Furthermore, it is also a Brobdingnagian inconvenience to call a restaurant to order a meal, to have it hauled to your abode. You can more expeditiously bring a meal to fruition if you were to take the requisite measures to prepare it yourself. Moreover, there are a copious amount of unhealthy menu items on the menus of restaurants. You should consume vegan supplements, and you should also consume foods that are subsumed under a longevity promoting, salubrious, wholesome, nutrient-dense, alkaline, antioxidant-rich, anti-inflammatory, raw fruitarian diet. We should never devour anything insalubrious. We should never consume unhealthy foods. It would behoove you to implement salutary, prudent, and salubrious dietary decisions. You never want to consume foods that can ravage your DNA, truncate your telomeres, unravel your chromosomes, nor that can render you at a higher probability to contract a deleterious chronic disease. If you and your friends congregate at restaurants, you can still attend meetups with your friends at restaurants. Even if you forgo buying anything from a restaurant, you can defer eating until you're at your abode. You do not need to eat 8 times a day. You can consume at least 21,000 calories of alkaline, nutrient-dense, antioxidant-rich, anti-inflammatory fruits and vegetables throughout the week. The time in which you devour food does not need to be relegated to a standard dinner time. So it's needless to buy anything from restaurants. Why accede to paying steep, staggering, hefty, exorbitant, lofty premium prices to purchase homogeneous foods at restaurants when you have autonomy to prepare your own meals for a fraction of the cost, or even in some scenarios at no monetary cost on your end if you cultivate your own crops in your backyard. You could have fruit trees in your backyard. You can harvest vegetables in your backyard. So there's no incentive to eat out at restaurants. Is the service going to be slow, or are the servers going to move at a fast cadence? Are the portion sizes going to be sizable, or are they going to be infinitesimal? Is a restaurant going to be fraught with loud ambient noise, or is the environment going to be tranquil, serene, and reposeful? Who shall know? There are all these additional variables that you can encounter if you eat out at a restaurant. So be mindful of the exogenous factors. This challenge to abstain, desist, and refrain from ever eating out at a restaurant for the entirety of your lifetime is easily surmountable. It's not deemed to be an insurmountable challenge. It can be overcome with relative ease. Remember to always implement salubrious dietary decisions. Allow that to solidify in the chasms of your mind. Never implement insalubrious dietary decisions. Always implement salubrious dietary decisions. I wanted to punctuate that before I abruptly end this video. I hope that you're enthralled, bedazzled, regaled, captivated, mesmerized, amused, and fascinated. I hope that you are entrenched in the unalloyed epicness. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day.